Hello everyone, my name is Joseph and welcome back to the Popsicle Night channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Please take a second to click the like button if you like this video or hit the thumbs down if you don't. Also, if you enjoy the contents of this channel, please subscribe if you haven't already. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at Mimikyu VMAX from the new Brilliant Star set. Mimikyu VMAX has 300 HP, 1 retreat cost, minus 30 resistance to fighting, and is weak to dark. It has 2 unique attacks. The first one is Ominous Numbers. For 2 colorless energy, you can put 4 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. However, if you played Acerola's Premonition from your hand during this turn, you can place 13 damage counters instead. You may use the new Double Turbo Energy to power up this attack. And even though Double Turbo Energy reduces attack damage, it's not going to affect this attack at all since the damage you deal counts not as an attack damage but as an effect. And to increase the effect of this attack, we will have to use the Acerola's Premonition supporter card. This is a great draw support. Your opponent reveals their hand and you draw a card for each trainer card you find there. So by using this, you can increase Mimikyu's damage counter spread to 13. And naturally, I have a full set of this in this build. And I added 1 pal pad to recover 2 supporter cards from the discard pile, so then we can use Acerola later on in the game. And Mimikyu VMAX's second attack is Max Shadow. For 2 purple energies, it will deal 120 damage and then you discard a random card from your opponent's hand. Its pre-evolution Mimikyu V is also really interesting. It has the ability Dummy Doll. When you play this from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you prevent all damage done to this Mimikyu V from your opponent's Pokemon until the end of your opponent's next turn. This is a really powerful ability because nothing can turn it off other than Path to the Peak. And this has the attack Jealous Eyes. You put 3 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon for each prize card your opponent has taken. So if your opponent is down to their last prize, you can place as much as 15 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon. So with a mixture of invulnerability and the 15 damage counter dealt by Mimikyu V, and then on your next turn finish off your opponent's Pokemon with Acerola and Mimikyu VMAX combo, you may just be able to turn the tides to your favor near the end of the game. And again, Mimikyu VMAX doesn't really hit for a lot of damage, so what I focused on more is the disruption aspect of this card. Especially its Max Shadow attack can discard a card from your opponent's hand. I just amplified that by using this Obstagoon with the Wicked Ruler ability. During your turn, you can have your opponent discard cards from their hand until they only have 4 left. So with this ability and Mimikyu's attack, you may just be able to limit your opponent's options. And it also has the Knuckle Impact attack, which deals 180 damage, a more powerful attack than Mimikyu's. And since it only requires 3 colorless energy, you can also use the Double Turbo Energy to energize it. And not only that, its pre-evolution Zigzagoon with a Headbutt Tantrum ability also adds to the damage counter that Mimikyu VMAX is already spreading. We're just going to use the rare candy to evolve this Obstagoon. And to further help Mimikyu VMAX with the damage counter spread, I'm using 1 copy of this Inteleon with a quick shooting ability. Once per turn, you can add 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. And of course, to go along with this is a 3-3-1 line of the Shady Dealings Drizzile and Inteleon. I really like the search engine because it allows you to get Acerola supporter card when you need it for your turn. And as for consistency, I'm using Snorlax with the Gormandize ability. And now we can finally use Manaphy with a Wave Veil ability, which prevents all attack damage done to your bench. As for the rest of the deck, I use Escape Rope as an alternative to switch. I also have 1 Energy Search because we only have 11 energies in this build. I also have Scoop Up Net so we can reuse Zigzagoon's ability, and also the Inteleon line. Dynatree Hill Stadium will prevent your opponent from healing. And just to add to the disruption, I also have Collapse Stadium, which limits both players' bench to only 4. And there's a great combo for this, where if your Mimikyu has taken a lot of damage, you can transfer it to the bench. Then when you play the Stadium, that is if you have 5 Pokemons on your bench, you can then discard your Mimikyu VMAX to remove it as liability. I think you can use this combo in any build, and I think this is a really cool new Stadium we have. Also, I don't have any Boss's Orders in this build just because I don't see the need for it in this build. We're just spreading damage anywhere on the board anyways. Some may feel differently, but yeah, I'm going with this one. And finally, I also have 4 Horror Energies, so if our opponent's Pokemon deals damage to Mimikyu V, their attacking Pokemon will get 2 damage counters for each of these cards attached. Mimikyu VMAX definitely is not like any of the other VMAX that specializes on one-hit KOs or huge damage. And I was actually thinking of pairing this one with Dragapult VMAX, and speaking, I think Mimikyu VMAX is more of a backup attacker or a finisher because it just doesn't hit for a lot of damage. But for science, I just wanted to showcase this card as a standalone for now. and see what it's capable of on its own. And suffice it to say, this build actually worked out. And that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description below. And now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Mimikyu VMAX. But first, let's hear it from our sponsors. This video is sponsored by PTCGO the best place for you to get PTCGO code cards. Please use my code NIGHT22 at checkout so you can get a 5% discount. Help yourself out with the discount, and thank you for helping support the content I create in this channel and for helping out PTCGO. So I've been testing out this Mimikyu VMAX. I started off with a lot of builds. I really didn't want to use any other VMAX along with this. I just wanted to try out this Mimikyu VMAX on its own. It's easy to mix this one with like Shadow Rider, Calyrex VMAX, but I just wanted to see if we can make this Mimikyu work on its own. It just doesn't deal enough damage on its own, and against other VMAX it's very difficult to win because when they can hit for a lot of damage and then your Mimikyu just spreads damage, and just for 13 damage at a time, it's so hard to win games like that. So I went for the more disruptive combination and added Obstagoon with the Wicked Ruler. So if I can limit their hand size, I mean, there's a chance that you can disrupt your opponent's progress and then continue to use that damage counter spread, and or also attack with the Max Shadow to continue to limit their hand size. Each time you attack, you take away one of their cards from their hand, and the fact that you discard that from their hand is very powerful, and it's random. Neither you nor your opponent can choose. It's random, so that's what makes it a bit more powerful. So your opponent has little control of what will be removed from their hand. My opponent's gonna Marnie, and both of us have Sobbles. Well, they have two Drizzles now, they've used that. And with the Marnie we get a Mimikyu V, which is actually really good. And then we can set up our Zigzagoon. And I think we could play Mimikyu for the meantime. Oh, they have Path to the Peak. So my Mimikyu is vulnerable at this point. Might as well put the Horror Energy on it. And if we play Acerola's Premonition, they might not have any trainer cards on hand because they only have 3. So I think I'll just pass for now. And then maybe they'll build up their hand size this turn, and then we can use Acerola so that we can draw into more cards, given that they have a lot of trainer cards on hand. So they're using the new Inteleon VMAX, the Rapid Strike Inteleon VMAX. Each time it attacks, the one energy goes back to their hand. So if this one focuses on repeated full heal with Cheryl, then we might have a problem here. So what I'm thinking of doing is probably just snipe all of the weaker Pokemon in Inteleon line, and even the Manaphy actually won't do any good. Since they have a lot of cards on hand, we can probably use Acerola and draw into a lot of more cards. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 3. Okay. And then we can retreat our Sobble. Let's just get a Drizzle and see what else we could get here. Could get a rare candy, so I can set up my Obstagoon probably. Let's see, but we will need Obstagoon at some point. Could use Scoop Up Net to use another Drizzle, but then that's gonna defeat the purpose of. I'm just gonna be wasting a Scoop that way. So I think I'll just get a rare candy. Yeah, I'll just get a rare candy. And then I'll force their Inteleon out of the active. Because what I could do here is even attack with Max Shadow if I really wanted to. Okay, they're gonna put Drizzle in the active. But I'm not gonna get let Acerola go to waste, so I think I might just have to use Ominous Numbers and take out this Manaphy. And then take out this. Alright, there you go. Get 2 prizes right away. Nice. So against weaker Pokemon, Mimikyu VMAX is really great. And that's why I think as a support or a secondary attacker, it's great. Because it goes through any barricade, just like the Wave Veil ability of Manaphy. You can take out a Manaphy if you really wanted to take out the last prize, for example. So while you're hitting for a lot of damage, let's say you're using Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX build, you can hit for a lot of damage, but then you can also snipe with Mimikyu VMAX as a support. But good thing though, we got a chance to now build up our Galarian Obstagoon, so now we can start disrupting our opponent, removing cards from their hand, forcing them to remove, and then I'm gonna Marnie. So if they have a lot of cards, do that before you Marnie, because they're gonna draw into 4 cards when you Marnie. So you want them to discard first before you reshuffle their hand with Marnie. So let's use the Shady Dealings, and what this does too is set up for an Inteleon later on, and the Quick Shooting. So we'll get Acerola prepared for our next turn. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to deal a huge amount of damage. However, we can use Max Shadow and discard one of the cards on their hand. So let's see, I can even use Dynastry Heal to prevent them from healing. But I think I'll disrupt them, get rid of this Path to the Peak, and also limit one of their... have them discard one of their Pokemon on the bench because it limits their hand size to 4. And we'll just knock out this Drizzle, discard one of the cards from their hand, and then we got double Turbo Energy from our prize. So we're doing great. We have Mimikyu on hand to use also. If they manage to knock out our Mimikyu in the Mimikyu VMAX in the active, we have a means to kind of stall a little bit with our Mimikyu, but we don't have any bench space, so we'll have to wait until they knock one of our Pokemon out. They're dealing 140 damage, and with a Quick Shooting, they can actually knock out our Mimikyu VMAX easily. We don't have any energy to attack with Mimikyu. So let me set up my Quick Shooting for the meantime. And then we're going to add damage counter. See, we're only drawing 1. We got Palpad. We got 2. So we can use this, get these 2 Acerolas back to the deck. And I could chip away at that Sobble though. I mean, we need 3 more prizes, but still. It's going to be hard to knock out one of these Inteleon. Let's see, I might just have to use... I could use it on Obstagoon though. Let me just do this first. Put damage counter, and I'll just put the Twin Energy, or the double Turbo Energy. The reason why I did that is because even if I use it on Mimikyu VMAX, yes, I can add 4 damage counter on Sobble. I guess I could have gotten a prize for that. But then if I do that, they're going to knock out my Mimikyu VMAX anyways. Because they have Inteleon VMAX all powered up. So either way, we can't really knock out their Inteleon, and they're just going to continue to attack it. But at least we have an attacking option with Obstagoon, hitting for 180 damage. I'll just pivot into Drizzle for the meantime, put Mimikyu here, and without Path to the Peak, we actually have Invulnerability. We'll use Acerola to draw into a lot of cards, and then I can power up my Mimikyu at this point. Wicked Ruler to have them discard cards from their hand, so again, great disruption on Obstagoon's part, the Wicked Ruler ability. And I'm going to retreat into Mimikyu and then Quick Shooting at their Sobble. So, Jealous Eyes, we're dealing 90 damage on this Inteleon VMAX, which is not too bad. And we are invulnerable at this point, so even if they attack or try to attack, we are gonna be okay. We're not gonna receive any damage. They're gonna remove our stadium, so now we can have 5 Pokemon on our bench. They're gonna use Fan of Waves. That's not good. Well, you know what? They didn't remove the one on Mimikyu V, so that's okay. That should be fine. They're gonna continue to chip away at my Obstagoon. They are using Choice Belt, so they're dealing a lot more damage to our Mimikyu V, but it's invulnerable, so we're okay. We are okay for now. There. So, I actually haven't had the chance to showcase this Mimikyu when it came out. They have 4 trainer cards, so that's awesome. We got another Mimikyu. We can probably stall for another turn with that. Let's see. Let's use Ordinary Rod. Make sure that we have Mimikyu VMAX in the deck and get these 2 energies back to the deck as well. And then can evolve into Mimikyu VMAX. Get an Evolution Incense. And then let's use Wicked Ruler before I forget. Disrupt my opponent's hand. And you know what? When you do this, it's actually a really annoying ability. When you play against it, it just limits your hand size, and then you have to re-strategize basically, because it just messes up your entire strategy when you have to discard a lot of the cards on your hand. So we took out one of their Sables. We need 2 more prizes to go. We can probably take out that Octillery. So it needs 11. 10, 11, and then we'll just take put 2 damage counter on their Inteleon. So the quick shooting Inteleon only has 150 HP. So with that 2 damage counter, we have Acerola on hand. We could just attack on our next turn. Spread that 13 damage counter after using Acerola, and then we'll win the game. There it is. I can't I can't believe we won that one. Bro, good game, man. Good game. Alright, moving on to our next match. We're going to take a mulligan. Alright. Okay, we have Sable. We'll save Zigzagoon because Zigzagoon can deal 1 damage counter when you put it on the bench. So if at all possible, you want to save that one before you put it on the bench on your first turn. Okay, Alchemy VMAX build. And they're also using Old Cemetery. I actually put Old Cemetery in my preliminary build for this Mimikyu VMAX, thinking that each time my opponent attaches an energy from their hand, they'll receive damage counter. So if you add that in the mix with the Mimikyu VMAX build, you're spreading more damage counter. So, but it didn't work out. It was very inconsistent, and I don't know. It just didn't work out. I think the Prevent Healing, the Dynatree Heal, is a lot better. Let's see. I can use Horror Energy probably. Can get more Sables in play. We only have 1, so 1 is prized, unfortunately. So even if they knock out my Sable, at least we have another Sable to evolve into a Drizzile, and we can get a Mimikyu V off of that. So this is a Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX combination with Alchemy VMAX, and it has the potential to one-hit KO any Pokemon in the game, and they're just charging up a lot of energies at this moment. So Mimikyu also has only 300 HP. It's one of the weaker VMAXs out there, And it was just really hard to add any more elements to this particular build, because even if we add tool cards, I won't be able to make it as consistent as I would like. So there's a lot of cards that I just had to sacrifice, even though I feel like I needed more stuff to go along with that. Let me just get an energy. That way I can get Mimikyu V started. I mean, let's see. Yeah, let me get rid of that. Use this to get Mimikyu V. We don't need Manaphy. Because, I mean, we might need Manaphy later on, because that Articuno can actually snipe the bench. So I might actually need Manaphy later on. So we'll save that later on. And I'll just attach an energy on Zigzagoon, because once we get Rare Candy, we could evolve into Obstagoon, and I'm just thinking of disrupting my opponent's hand size, because yeah, the Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX has a very strong ability as well, where it draws a lot of cards. As long as they can attach an energy, they draw 2 cards every time. But that could be their downfall, because now they're just burning through their entire deck. But also, also we're not set up, so we might just lose this game very quickly. So I really don't know how to win this game, because Mimikyu VMAX doesn't attack for a lot of damage, and that's my worry. I'll just put Zigzagoon in the active. Okay, we got a level ball, which is good. That will allow us to get a Drizzile. We need more drawing options here. And then, let's see, I can get Acerola. I'll just get Acerola. That way I don't have to discard any of the cards in my hand. Use Acerola. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we draw 5. And we got a Manaphy. That's great. So we have protection from their Articuno. Just add another damage counter on Articuno. So now it's within... I mean, it only has 120 HP, so that's fine. That's one less damage counter that we have to use against that. I'll just switch into Mimikyu V, which is invulnerable right now. And they're not going to be able to damage my Mimikyu V. So they're drawing into more cards. If they are... As long as they're not aware of what I'm about to do, because if I get that Rare Candy, whatever's left over the cards they have on hand, and the more they draw, the more we can have them discard, and they're going to be left with none. And we can even Marnie, force them to Marnie, and think deck out. That's the only win option we have, because Mimikyu VMAX is not going to win this game by attacking. So I'll just continue to use invulnerability, switch this, stall some more. And I don't want to evolve into a VMAX yet, because if I do that, they might just have a boss. Let me use Palpad to recycle 2 of my Acerola. Because if they have a boss, they're going to get 3 prizes. So I don't want to use... and if I do this though, I'm going to put Obstagoon on the bottom. But that's okay, we can always just search it back. Hopefully. Okay, let's disrupt by having them discard a card. Let me get rid of this Zigzagoon. So now they have to discard one of their Pokemon. They discard one of the Shadow Rider. I mean the Alchemy. Let me scoop up this one so we can use... We're only dealing 30 damage counter, but it's fine. Or 3 damage counter. So we can use Drizzile next turn, get an Acerola. Or no, we want Rare Candy. I mean, they have 3 cards left, but... Okay, alright, we're stalling. Okay, we got a Rare Candy. So what I'm gonna do here is probably just get a Evolution Incense. That will get me my Obstagoon. And then we can't use its ability just yet, but it's there. I think that's the only I think that's the only way to win this. And that's the downside with Mimikyu VMAX, is just it doesn't attack for a lot of damage. Their Shadow Rider Calyrex can knock out our Pokemon with one hit. So I'll just evolve into, maybe what I could do here is, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just going to knock out the Articuno. Hold on. I mean, I have Mimikyu. You know what? I'll just stall for now. I think I'm just gonna stall, because if I knock out the Articuno, they're just gonna knock out my Mimikyu, and then they can just boss and then win the game that way. So I think I'll just stall one more turn, retreat into Mimikyu, and then I will... No, it's fine. I shouldn't have used that, but that's okay. That's alright. Because I have Inteleon with the Shady Dealings. I can just get 2 trainer cards from my deck that way. So I don't really need to scoop up my Drizzile. And I could even get Quick Shooting if I needed to. But they're gonna Professor's Research, and now they're down to 2 cards left on their deck, and that's... I think that's gonna be the downfall of my opponent. If they don't Marnie, or I mean they can't Marnie because they just use Professor, and our Mimikyu V is invulnerable. So let's Wicked Ruler first, make sure we do that. So that will limit their hand size to 4. And all we need to do is stall for 2 turns and we should be fine. We should be fine. Right? Unless they win in 2 turns. Because all they need to do is knock out my Mimikyu VMAX, boss another Mimikyu V, and that's gonna win them the game. Because really there's no other way for us to stall anymore. We've already used up 3 of our Mimikyu V, so I just got Acerola and also Marnie for the next few turns, and then if I have to, we can force our opponent to draw until they deck out. So I'll just retreat into Manaphy for the meantime. I'll use Acerola. Okay, draw into 4 cards. Alright, that's fine. And I think that's all we could do, really. Yeah, there's not much we could do. I mean, Manaphy... even if I switch this, it doesn't really matter. I'll just sacrifice Inteleon. I need Manaphy because their Articuno can still snipe, but they're gonna boss. Yeah, there's... Dude, easy 3 prizes, man. It's crazy. Yeah, I think we're gonna lose this one. Because all they need to do is knock out our Mimikyu V, and that's gonna be game. Let me Wicked Ruler. If we limit them to 4 cards... Limit them to 4 cards... Even if we Marnie though, that's not gonna force them to draw into another card, because it's just gonna return back to 4. You know what I'm gonna do though? I think there's a way. So I'm gonna get Mimikyu. I think if I knock out their Articuno, it might... I don't know, I can't count right now. I'm just gonna go with this. I think I'll just knock out their Articuno. Maybe that's gonna prevent them from knocking out our Mimikyu VMAX. Unless they have a boss, they'll just knock out our Mimikyu V, and that's gonna be game. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna use this attack and then knock out Articuno. That's gonna discard 3 energy cards, decreasing Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX attack. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know. Is it enough to knock out my Mimikyu VMAX? So Mimikyu only has 300. It survived! Oh my goodness! That was a close game. Insane! I can't believe we won that! Alright. On to our next match. yeah, this Mimikyu VMAX it's not bad. On its own, it has its own perks, but it's definitely limited. It's not gonna win every game. There's a lot stronger VMAXs out there that can just one-hit KO any Pokemon. So as a standalone, I don't think Mimikyu VMAX is any good. It's good. It's fun to play as a standalone, but I don't think it's gonna win a lot of games. So Snorlax is in the active, weak against fighting. We're up against Stonjourner VMAX, so most likely they're just gonna play one at a time. Can we knock this guy out with a Mimikyu VMAX? That's the question. I think the game plan here is to alright, they have a lot of trainer cards. Look at that. That's the only thing. Because they like the Stonjourner VMAX build likes to stack a lot of cards on hand, especially healing cards. So if we can set up an Obstagoon, we can limit their healing. And we can even use Dynatree Hill to prevent them from healing that way. So I'll start energizing my Obstagoon line. I have to thin out my hand because I can't use Gormandize. I need to set up my Mimikyu. So the game plan here is to I'll just sacrifice one Zigzagoon. If they end up knocking it out, that's fine. But they don't have enough energy anyway, so it should be. I think it should be fine. I think the game plan, really, the winning plan here is to get Obstagoon and prevent them from healing, limit their hand size, and then Mimikyu can actually slowly chip away at the Stonjourner V and just knock it out completely. But it's a long shot because Stonjourner hits for a lot of damage. Yeah, even though Mimikyu is resistant to fighting, there's no way for us to heal. I don't have any healing option with this this build. Let me get Inteleon. I need to start setting up my Mimikyu. We get an evolution incense. We have rare candy, so we can set up our Obstagoon. Let's do that first. And then let's get rid of this. Get a Mimikyu V. And let's play that now. That's fine. Put the horror energy. Then I'm gonna have them discard cards until they have 4 left on hand. It's gonna limit their healing options because now we're having them discard a lot of those cards. They have to choose wisely which cards they're gonna discard, because once we slowly chip away at their HP, you know, they're not gonna be able to heal back if they're not careful. There's a Dynatree Hill, so they can't heal. And I'm just gonna Gormandize. Here we get a Scoop Up Net. We can start attacking next turn. So what I'm gonna do here is on my next turn, full face guard. That's not gonna matter, especially we're hitting for we're just spread damage or damage counter. So that's not gonna decrease our attack, dude. They're they're just getting tails from those hammers, which I really appreciate. So let's put my Mimikyu V in the active. We got Acerola from the top deck, so that's insane. Let me get a Mimikyu VMAX. Evolve. Then let's use Acerola first before we they're all trainer cards, man. They're all healing. Let's use Wicked Ruler, have them discard at least 1. Right? And then we're gonna Max Shadow. Deal 100 damage. Discard 1 of their healing. But we have Dynatree Heal, so they cannot heal. They're gonna boss. My Obstagoon. Oh no. You're gonna knock it out. Okay, that's bad. That's bad. Can we set up another Obstagoon? That's the question. Okay, we can set up another. We can set up another Mimikyu. So let's scoop this up so I can use Drizzile. We don't have any more Quick Ball. Okay. Let's scoop this guy up then. Just deal one more damage counter. Just put an enter. Just in case they have hammers, we'll be safe. Max Shadow. Deal 100 damage. Have them discard another card. And they just won't be able to heal. They're gonna use Kabu. Dude, that would have been great to use Path to the Peak. Crushing Hammer. Nice. Here's the healing. Tails. Yes. Tails. Tails. My opponent has terrible RNG. And that's a good thing because Mimikyu doesn't hit for a lot, man. 140 damage. I think we can win this. We just need one more damage. We can spread 13. Okay, we got Scoop Up Net, so we can scoop up Zigzagoon, deal 1 damage counter, right? Then use Acerola. Then that's it. That's it. Ominous numbers for 13 damage counters, knocking out this time. Dude, that's awesome. Good game, man. Good game. Awesome game. And that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to smash the like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching the Popsicle Night channel, and as always, stay safe and have a great day.